Hi and welcome to the market alert for Tuesday the 28th of June 2022. So good news, send stocks and bonds lower, oil and gas prices soar. Well, actually it wasn't good news on this occasion. I'll show you what that is when we get into the stock markets, why they reversed during yesterday's session, but that was talking about the Dow more so than the European markets. US stocks were mostly pressured on a higher yield environment, according to that news headline. And it was really light on news yesterday, except for when the DAX started to move lower. Like I say, we'll come to that when we get to the DAX. Economic news today, the criminals out at 9 a.m, G7 meeting third day, and consumer confidence and Richmond Manufacturing Index. They're out at 3 p.m. later today. Gold-silver ratio, sideways at the moment. Market is fairly quiet. So let's get in and have a look at the German DAX and the Dow and the stock markets, and then work our way up to the metals. So in the Dow yesterday, the market, fairly quiet day. As you can see, they're trading above the 20-bar moving average, but failing to close above yesterday. Also the 50-bar retracement as well from the high back to here as well, so a bit of resistance around at the moment. If the market's to move higher, it needs to take this out, and in a 30-minute chart you'll see how quiet compared to the last few days it's been. We started off on the downside at 230, we then moved up, and then eventually we made our way down. The stock's coming under pressure late on as the yields increased. The Dow was already traded down to yesterday's low, according to the 30-minute chart there, trading up to the close, and you can see prices trying to hold above the 50 MA, the 5 and the 20 there at the moment. It needs to get above the DP if prices are to move higher. And in the German DAX, also you can see the market trading up to 89% retracement from here to here that we drew in. The market stopped and then reversed and moved lower. We've got a bit of supply coming into the market there as well, but overnight prices are holding above the 5-bar moving average in the daily chart there. In the 30 minutes, as we mentioned in yesterday morning's alert, so we could see stocks move higher, and they certainly did. All was going swimmingly. This is the 89% retracement area that you have seen in the daily chart, and at this point we start to see some selling coming into the market, and the question is why? Well, this was why, because this news broke and NATO dramatically increased forces on high alert to over 300,000 from 40,000, nearly 10 times higher, well certainly 9 times higher on Russian threats, and then this war turning in Russia's favour. Putin to make first foreign trip since invasion. Russia misses deadline for debt repayment. So this news came out, and this is as a result of this, obviously with the DAX being in Europe, this sent the market all the way back down to the DP. And then we had a bit of a bounce, and then the market gapping higher overnight at the moment, down to yesterday's low light, the Dow, and coming off that at the moment. So there is a chance that the market could head back up to the DP and resume now they've got this bad news out of the way. You know, the dead cat bounce scenario still in play there. If you have a look at the 5-minute chart, we'll just drag this over to yesterday. The futures market moving lower at 7 a.m, which was interesting to actually see. And then as soon as we kicked off with the cash market, you can see prices moving sharply to the upside. They continued this way for 100, 150, 175 points higher before we got to the 89% retracement in the daily, and then the market making its way all the way back down to the DP, which we saw in the afternoon when the Dow opened. So coming all the way back, and like I say, overnight prices have gapped higher. Just move that, there we go, you can see prices have gapped higher up to the 200 MA, come back and then filled the gap there, trading down to the low. We've got some huge volume there. I love these single volume bars like this. You know they're up to something. Market becomes oversold, crossover, divergence, and then it's made its way back. And like I say, what you want to watch for is the DP on the upside and the low on the downside if prices do go and have another look to the downside on more war propaganda. In the currencies, you can see that the yen not doing a lot, waiting for sort of either the Fed, the Japanese central bank or whatever, but nothing really moving in the currencies. As we've got the CPI, the interest rate increase out of the way at the moment. You can see there yesterday we moved up. It was oversold. We got the volume, and we saw prices moving up 100 points, and then getting into a sideways move. Bit of a bounce there, 62% back, and then drifting lower. Overnight, we've got again a cluster of volume oversold at the DP, and then trying to move to the upside there, but very quiet at the moment, including the pound as well. Down day yesterday as the dollar spiked on the Russian news, but prices are still struggling at the 20 bar moving average in the daily chart. And in the 30-minute chart, again, you can see how that news item sent the market down because the dollar was strengthened. Again, start talking about war, the dollar strengthens till we became oversold. As you can see there, again, we've got the big spike down to the low with the volume, and then prices rallying up. We've got 62-78% retracement there at Friday's high, and overbought crossover. You can see that there, and then the market just stuck it in a sideways move. Needs to rise above the DP if prices are to move higher there. And in the S&P, similar to the Dow, still struggling with the 20 bar moving average, which you can see there sideways overnight, and the 50% retracement also giving the market a bit of grief. And like I say, a close above that 20 bar moving average is required there. Fairly quiet as we see here. We had a bit of a move up in the morning, as you'll see there, and then prices just drifting sideways through here. And then when the Dow opened, or New York opened, we came down, we moved lower here, and again back up, and then just drifted to the downside, which is quite amazing really, given the news announcement with regards to Russia so-called winning the war, as it were. Overnight down to the low, there's your volume oversold, and again trying to get back above that DP area where the market found a bit of resistance there. In the FTSE, narrow range day as well, a lot of supply coming into the market, stuck at the 89% retracement, market moving lower again on the news, which you can see in the 30-minute chart there. Straight up from the open though with the DAX cash market, then you've got your retracement exactly the same there, drifting into a sideways move. Market slight gap up on the overnight, back down to the 50 EMA, and this one actually above the DP there at the moment. The only one out of all of the other stock markets to be above the DP at the moment. And finally, in the metals and oil and dollar, you can see that yesterday silver was slammed lower. They didn't take long, did it? They moved the market up initially, and then they slammed it down. We'll come back to that in a moment. You'll see there yesterday's market alert. We saw the market being moved up. We got to 21.50, and then here we go. New York opens. The overnight traders come in, slam the price down, despite the fact of the news about the war. This should have actually gone up, but of course the dollar strengthened, gave them the excuse, and they slammed the price down. You've got the 1 o'clock fix here, where the market again comes under pressure, and all the way down to Friday's close there. Overnight, the market has retested the lows, which is interesting because we've got a small cluster of volume there, oversold at the low, and now back above the close. But again, I thought I might not get the chance to buy at $20, but I'm still holding out hope after what they did yesterday with slamming this back to the downside up on the overnight. But we've seen this so many times before when the market then gets slammed to the downside. Meanwhile, gold stuck in the sideways range. Nothing exciting happening here at all. It really is stuck sideways there. Coming off the low as well of yesterday from an oversold condition. Retracement, and again needs to get above the DP, just like all of the stock markets apart from the UK 100. In the dollar, sideways too low. It had a bit of a bounce during yesterday, but then came off that, But again, you can see that even despite the fact that this is moving lower, they're still slamming the price of silver to the downside as well. So any chance they get to move silver to the downside, they are using it. Yesterday, big move to the upside in crude oil. Expect fuel prices to continue to rise as we move back to the upside. Again, news of war sends crude oil higher. It's absolute tosh because there is no shortage, there is no supply issue. It's all smoke and mirrors. And you can see yesterday up towards the 50% retracement now, and 62 tying in with the 20 bar moving average there as well. So watch this area, but I'm afraid that's fuel prices moving back to the upside. Any sniff of a rise in the crude oil price, then petrol prices, diesel prices are moved to the upside. Okay, I think that's it for today. Just a quick roundup of where we are. There's no major news items out again. It's a matter of just keeping an eye on the mainstream with the Russia-Ukraine situation. It's interesting that we saw this headline as the G7 meeting. So it'll be interesting to see if they have any more to say about this on the third day. Okay, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.